Welcome everybody that has joined so far. We are going to be covering our bold predictions and of course the main subject of this video or live stream, whatever you're watching, the WEC manufacturer's predictions for the hypercar class. We will begin with that, and viewers, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win the championship. Just all your predictions in the comments. Please let us know. We're going to be going up through the order, so we're going to be going from 8th to 1st. David, you'll start with yours and then I'll go into mine. You'll start, I guess, with number 8, then I'll do my number 8, and then we'll go up like that. But David, what do you think? Who is going to finish 8th in the Manufacturers Championship? This is stone dead last, by the way, viewers.
Yeah, I mean, last year was pretty easy to predict that it was gonna be Isola Fraschini because, I mean, first of all, they didn't finish the season, so it was quite easy to put them there without hurting anyone as well. This year, I'm gonna put a team that has actually been with Hypercar for a long time, but never got it to work, and it's Peugeot. They have never really been able to make that car work and have pace. There's just too many times where it has either looked really bad, or they have had the pace but never been able to get the result. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be their season. Like, there's so many other teams that have improved and fixed their problems. I'm hoping I'm not right with this prediction, because I like the team and I like the car, but unfortunately they're going to finish last for me.
Alrighty, well, thank you for setting your prediction, David. He's predicted Peugeot to finish in 8th. For me, I have predicted Aston Martin to finish in 8th in the championship. This is a new manufacturer. We expect them to be towards the bottom of the field. They're not going to be fighting for wins instantly. I mean, at least we think. They're not going to be getting first in the championship and beating the likes of Toyota, who have been here since the very start of the modern WEC, ever since it was established in 2012. That Valkyrie AMR LMH is a brand new car. It's going to take some time for Aston Martin to kind of get to grips with it. Like all new manufacturers, it's going to take maybe 3 to 4 races for Aston Martin to kind of go like, okay, we understand where this car is at, we understand the issues, we understand the positives, all that sort of thing. But I think that in general, this year is only going to be a learning year for the British marque, and I believe that they're going to finish in 8th. Not much more to say about that. So we'll move on to our 7th place predictions in the manufacturer standings. But David, what do you think about the 7th place in the hypercar class? Who do you think is going to be finishing there?
Yeah, so I put a little bit more faith in the Aston Martin team, because I put them 7th. I will talk about them once again later. I think they will have a stronger season than we have seen from other new teams. I mean, just wanted to let know that Alpine last year also completely new team, and they finished on the podium. I'm interested to see how a non-hybrid car in the hypercar era works, because what we have seen so far with systems that are non-hybrid, they have lost out more than they have gained in terms of pace. So I'm interested to see if they can make it work. But yeah, I think that beautiful V12 sound will get some points this year and at least finish ahead of Peugeot.
For 7th, I've gone for Peugeot. You predicted them to finish in 8th, David. I'm predicting them to finish in 7th, just ahead of Aston Martin. Peugeot, they are a manufacturer that's kind of like an unknown. You know, we don't really know where they're going to be. They've had struggles with their 9X8 hypercar. Of course, I would love to see them finish higher up in the championship, but right now I just see other manufacturers performing just a tiny bit better. And like I said as well in the past, even if Peugeot finished in 7th, that doesn't mean, or 8th, depending on which prediction you favor, it doesn't mean that they aren't going to achieve a big result. It's possible they could achieve 1 or 2 big results. Let's move on to our next set of predictions. David, who do you think is going to finish 6th in the manufacturer standings?
So in 6th, I put Alpine. I think they are the worst of the greatest teams. Of course, with the podium last year, they also didn't finish Le Mans at all. And they had, in general, lacks of paces. Sometimes it was like Cadillac, where the car was good, but they had problems, and sometimes they were just off the pace for no reason. So Alpine in 6th for me.
I think we agree on that as well, because I'm also putting Alpine in 6th here. I think that you said it perfectly, David. Alpine, they have strong pace, they have the performance. I think it's just about getting those results on a consistent basis. The thing for me is that seems like the consistency isn't there. I'm hoping that is there in 2025 though. They need points finishes with both cars in every single race. That's kind of like what they need to fight with the top 3 or fight with the other manufacturers. But like David pointed out, like myself pointed out, the top 6 is really, really close. But this is, I think, where it gets a little bit more interesting, the top 5. You know, this could really go kind of either way. And I think this is a good point to move over to our top 5 in the manufacturer standings. David, you have gone for something different, and I have gone for something different. So who do you think is going to finish in 5th in the manufacturer standings?
Well, I think they're going to break the curse just because I believe in Jota. So yeah, I put Cadillac in 5th place. I believe that they're going to be competitive. Again, just the top 5. The top 6 is just crazy close. But Cadillac for me is in 5th. I think Jota will, of course, they already showed with practice and the prologue how much pace they actually have. But we need to remember this is a new car. Jota being a great team, of course, winning Spa last year and really being a well-oiled team that knows how to win races and be competitive throughout the season in WEC, also have to now put on to adapt a new car and adapt new drivers and still break the curse of Cadillac in the WEC. I think because it's Jota now, that will happen automatically. But yeah, Cadillac will get wins. I think they'll get wins, but only for 5th place.
I'm just going to point this out here because it's the facts. I don't predict Cadillac to finish in 5th. I predict them to finish a little higher up. And the manufacturer that I've chosen to finish in the top 5, or at least in 5th place, is BMW. The reason why I've put BMW there is because I think they're going to be extremely fast, but I think that the top 4 manufacturers are going to be just a little bit faster. Between 4th, 5th, and 6th, I think the gap is going to be just a few points. And that's why this championship is going to be so competitive. This is where BMW finished last year in 2024 with the 2M hybrid V8s. And I believe that they're going to finish there once again. Now, I believe that they are going to be faster and they're going to have better results than in 2024. But like I said before, I think the other 4 manufacturers are just going to be that tiny bit better. Not much more to say, but this is where I've put BMW on my manufacturers list. So moving on to the top 4, David, I'll hand things back over to you. Who do you think is going to finish in 4th?
Well, for me, top 4 is it's just hard. But I put Ferrari. The first real competitive year of the WEC in 2023, where it was Ferrari fighting with Toyota. Last year they won Le Mans. They fought with Porsche and Toyota, finished 3rd. This year they will take a knockback, but the results will still be great. They will still be fighting with those teams. I just think that the competition from around them and the fact that they will have to have 2 cars. This is for all the teams, but it's 2 cars for every team now. And that brings another dimension of having to be consistent with both cars to win championships. Right. You can't just win the race and have another car finish in the back of the grid. And I think that will be a really deciding factor for this championship. So I think Ferrari will still probably win a lot of races or be competitive, but I don't think they'll be as competitive as the top 2 at least. My 3rd place is a bit iffy. To be honest, I'm just surprised by them. But Ferrari in 4th place for me, yeah. But again, could change easily.
Yeah, and I think this is how close the Hypercar Championship is going to be in 2025. To see Ferrari, a manufacturer that is the defending winners of Le Mans in the Hypercar era on 2 separate occasions. Of course, they won in 2023 and 2024. To see them being placed 4th on your list, I think is bold, but I think is realistic. You know, I think it's possible because that's how close this championship really is. But for me, I want to go over my 4th place because I think that this manufacturer is going to be the star of the show in terms of the brands. I made a video on them trying to get into the top 3, and I think I'm already hinting at who this brand is. It's Cadillac. Hertz Team Jota Cadillac. I believe that they are going to have one of the fastest cars on the grid. The V Series R has proven to be a competitive race car in the WEC and at Le Mans and in IMSA as well. Of course, they've taken 4 overall victories in the GTP class. They got close to winning at Fuji last time out in the WEC. And of course, they got on the overall podium at Le Mans in 2023 and finished 3rd and 4th in that race. I believe that with Hertz Team Jota coming into this, I think that Cadillac's got a really strong chance of trying to fight the top 3 manufacturers. Yeah, I guess we'll go into our top 3 now. Who do you think is going to finish in 3rd?
I think we're going to see BMW finishing in 3rd. I think BMW are doing what Porsche did last year. Finally figuring out how to get that car to be competitive. BMW showed, the car showed at Daytona was that it can be competitive over 24 hours, and that's a really, really important thing. It can be competitive through different scenarios and different weather changes and all those things. So for me, that's a huge positive to put on BMW. BMW for sure is going to be up there every single time this year.
So with that, I'll move over to my third place, who I think is going to finish in third. And I feel like this is my boldest prediction of this entire standings. Many of you will disagree with me, and this is something that I'm kind of like, I'm unsure about. I'm unsure about doing this because I think that they're going to be competitive, but I'm putting last year's manufacturer's champion Toyota in third in the manufacturer's standings. And judging by your reaction, David, I think that you agree it's a bold prediction. They have won every manufacturer's championship in the hypercar class. So you may be thinking, Jonah, what are you doing? Why are you putting Toyota in third, a manufacturer that has dominated, to say the least, in the hypercar category, at least in the standings? But I believe that the top two brands, which I can comfortably say it's Ferrari and Porsche, are going to be a little bit more competitive. And I think Toyota, they're going to have a super competitive car once again. They're going to be the manufacturer to beat, but I believe that they're going to just miss out on that manufacturer's championship. And I believe that they're going to not just lose out and finish second, but finish in third. So we're moving up to our top two. David, who do you think is going to finish in second?
I'm gonna say it's Toyota second. I think they will finally not win the championship. I just see Toyota winning a lot of races and being really competitive, but Porsche pulling ahead of them and thereby taking the championship, doing what they couldn't do last year, finishing that one place further. Because I think it's going to come down to the last race, and I think the top three, honestly, is top four, maybe even, is going to come down to the last race. So yeah, Toyota second.
For second place in the championship for me, I've gone with Porsche. I believe that they're going to finish in second once again in the championship. As a Porsche Penske fan, I want to see them succeed as well, but I believe that they're not going to win the championship. So that means another bold prediction from me. And I think that right now we can pretty much reveal who's going to be first in our championships. You revealed already that it's going to be Porsche. And for me, I'm just going to go ahead and do it because I think Ferrari is going to win the championship in 2025. I believe that Ferrari has the pace to fight for the championship this year, more so than in 2024 and in 2023 before that. If you look at the 2024 championship, Ferrari had a very quick car at Qatar, even though they were hit by the balance of performance. In Imola, they had arguably the fastest car. If it wasn't for the rain, though, and all that situation with them, they probably would have won Imola as well. Spa, they had another quick car and would have likely won that race because of the whole situation with that massive Cadillac crash. Ferrari didn't win. So the first three races, they could have easily won all three. Le Mans, they eventually won, of course. Brazil, a race they weren't really competitive at, so that wasn't a race for them. Lone Star Le Mans, they had the fastest car, eventually won, of course, first and third in that event. And then Fuji, another event where they weren't super competitive. And then finally Bahrain, and in the fight for the win as well with the 51 car. So in general, if you look at their results throughout the season, they had arguably the fastest car throughout the 2024 season. I believe that Porsche and Toyota also had a very competitive car, but Ferrari made too many mistakes. So they just got unlucky and had mistakes and just situations that didn't go their way. If those mistakes didn't happen, Ferrari would have likely won the championship in 2024. And I feel that they're going to learn from those mistakes in 2024, and they're going to be able to go faster in 2025 and not make those mistakes. And I think that that's why I've put Ferrari in first, is because what I've just explained from the 2024 season and their determination, speed, and ultimately passion to win in endurance racing. Those are our manufacturer's predictions for the 2025 World Endurance Championship season in the hypercar class. We're now going to move over to our bold predictions. What we're going to be doing is David and myself are both going to give one bold prediction for the season. David, I'll go ahead and let you take the floor and tell us your bold prediction for the WEC season in 2025.
I say that Aston Martin will finish on the podium in their first season at least once. I think that package of no hybrid system and that V12 will get them to at least a podium finish I don't think it will change anything for the team throughout most of the races. It will be one of those races where everything just clicks and they will finish on the podium. I still think they'll be towards the back of the grid throughout most of the season. But I see that Aston Martin being competitive and not as far back as some may think. Of course, Aston Martin was actually set to join way earlier than they eventually did. It's all about upping this Aston Martin to its full potential, and I think we'll see some of that potential, at least a very small bit of it, at least once this season.
I guess we'll move over into my bold prediction for the 2025 season. And this one's a little bit bold, I would say. McLaren. I think McLaren are going to win the LMGT3 championship in 2025. This is a subject on the GT3 field, but I think McLaren have a very strong car heading into this season. They have the 95 and the 59 cars from United Autosports. They have new drivers joining the team. You have Sean Gallel, Darren Leon, Sebastian Bowe. So, I mean, there's drivers that are very competitive, a part of that group. I think McLaren has a strong car as well. They've proven to be in contention for wins. But then again, they haven't won yet in LMGT3. I believe that's going to change. It's definitely something that's bold, but I think that McLaren could win the championship in 2025. And I genuinely think that could happen.